Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to the very first episode of Kult Driven. My name is Joe.
And my name is Bean. Here on Kult Driven, we're going to be building obscure and cult classic cars while highlighting the culture that surrounds them.
We've already got a ton of challenges lined up for you guys. We got pretty tight constraints on them, so expect to see a lot of weird body styles, configurations, and all that good stuff. To kick things off, we're going to be making some room in the Kult Driven garage by fixing up my second generation Toyota MR2, commonly called the SW20. When we're done, we'll be using the freed up space to get started on our first challenge build. The MR2 was an affordable mid-engine sports car offered by Toyota across 3 generations from 1985 to 2007, and it's easily one of my favorite cars of all time. My 1993 SW20 has a 5-speed manual transmission with a shorter throw shifter than the 1990 through 1992 model years, and clocks in at about 160,000 miles. Unfortunately, I don't have a turbo model, and my naturally aspirated SW20 comes with a 2.2-liter twin-cam 4-cylinder motor also found in the Celica, the 5SFE. When it was new, this MR2 made a soul-crushing 135 horsepower at 5,400 RPM and hit a peak of 145 foot-pounds of torque at 4,400 RPM. Toyota went all in with the joke and required 93-octane gas. Even though the power's low, so is the curb weight. This chassis has the slightly heavier T-bar roof with removable glass panels, and after putting it up on the corner scales with a half a tank of gas, the SW20 still only weighed in at 2,644 pounds, with a tail-heavy 57% rear weight bias. 1993 saw major performance and visual changes in the SW20 and is commonly referred to as Revision 2. The previously mentioned rear weight bias gave the car a tendency to snap oversteer in the hands of idiots, so the second revision featured an updated front and rear suspension to make the car behave more predictably during oversteer. The most noticeable visual change for the second revision was the larger front lip, but the wheels also jumped up from 14x6 in the front and 14x7 in the rear to a new 15x6 and 15x7 staggered setup. The Revision 2 Turbo MR2s in the US also received larger diameter disc brakes, and in every other market in the world, the naturally aspirated MR2s received the same treatment. The paint job on my MR2 is far from perfect, and I definitely won't be getting through a safety inspection with these missing side markers. So we'll be addressing these issues and a few others on the outside of the car during the build. Behind the engine bay, they actually give you a small trunk here. It's not enough to fit in a ton of stuff, but you can definitely fit in the bare essentials. The interior of the MR2 is actually not as bad as you would think for a Japanese sports car from the 1990s. They use a lot of nicer materials in there, and it feels a lot more like a luxury car than anything else. This one's not in the best shape in the world, but it's definitely still salvageable. We've really got our work cut out for us since we'll be trying to remove 15 years of wear and tear to get this cabin back to its former glory, but it's not impossible. A deep clean will go a long way for most of the interior, but time has been especially unkind to the driver's seat in particular. And as you can see, at some point over the years, probably during the recession, somebody got really hungry and decided to take a huge bite out of the side bolstering. There's also no shortage of mysterious switches and exposed wiring to sort out, but the good news is, when it was new, my MR2 was optioned out with some pretty cool features like cruise control, power windows, air conditioning, and even power mirrors, which are pretty high-end back in the day. When we're done fixing this car up, it should be just as comfortable to drive as it is fun. Second generation MR2 is one of my favorite cars of all time. Even this one, it's naturally aspirated, so it's a lot slower than the turbo model, but it still puts a smile on your face. It's got just enough torque for you to still have a little bit of fun. And of course the handling's really good because it's mid-engine. So it just kind of digs into the turns. It's really fun. This one's got some issues, for sure. It's one of the reasons I was able to get a good deal on it. Main thing that I'm noticing just driving it around right now is fifth gear has a tendency to pop out. It's not too bad, and it's not because the transmission is damaged at all. It's probably just the bushing or linkage or something in the shifter, because I got a little bit of play. It like wiggles around a little bit. So that's something I'll pull apart and issue is the power steering rack. This thing's coming up to the point where I'm going to have to get it through a safety inspection. And once that happens, they're definitely going to fail it if they see how bad the power steering rack is. Even when it's stopped and you wiggle the wheel, you can hear it kind of clanking around a little bit. So that's got to be a top priority before I can actually start driving this. We're glad you'll be coming along the ride with us as we get this MR2 back into shape. Tune in next time where we'll be getting the car nice and clean and getting our hands dirty with some basic maintenance, including an oil change with our all-time favorite brand of motor oil. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.